Hello, I'm Jenny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you my everyday makeup look. I usually go to this look on days when I just really need to get some makeup on quickly, or if I just need something simple to go to, or just I'm not feeling like doing an elaborate look. This is just a very simple everyday look that's also very pretty, and it's going to be nice for any type of situation really. It's just a light, simple look. So let's go ahead and get started. So I have zoomed you in just a little bit just so you can see a little bit more of what's going on. There isn't that many steps, so this should be pretty easy to follow, but just so you can get all of my business. Let's go ahead and start with the primer. I'm going to be using the ColourPop Amethyst Priming Spray. I'm just going to spray it on my face. I just recently bought 2 more of these because I absolutely love this, and they say it's limited edition. So I'm hoping that this is a product that they will bring back as a permanent product, because this is my this is my favorite primer.
It's so good.
It's quick and it's lightweight and it smells like cucumbers and it's amazing. So next I'm going to be taking the NYX HD Concealer in the shade Fair. Yeah, in the shade Fair. And I'm just going to, excuse me, I have to adjust my mirror. I'm just going to put this where I normally put concealer, which is in a V shape under the eyes. I'm going to drag it down a little bit more. Down the nose, chin, and the forehead, just because I want to bring some brightness to the face. I don't go with foundation on a day-to-day basis. I usually don't wear foundation actually. So I'm just going to blend that out now. I'm just going to take a little more down here on the cheek area where I'm red. I have natural redness right here, and so I'm just going to kind of even that out. And put a little bit here and right here, because I get red there too. So now that all that is blended out, I'm going to take the LA Colors contour palette, and I'm going to take those 3 lightest shades right here, just right here, and I'm going to use these 3 colors to set the under eyes and everywhere else I put that concealer, just because on a everyday basis I don't like to bake usually if I'm gonna go light, so I just set everything lightly with just nice powders instead. With a nice fluffy brush, I'm just going to take my Wet n Wild foundation powder, and I'm just going to set my entire face with that. Just to kind of, I have oily skin, so I like to mattify when I can. And this is just going to kind of even out. As you can tell, my chest, you can't tell, you can't see my chest, but my chest is a lot darker than my face because I went to my county fair and completely forgot that sunscreen was a thing, and I got burnt really bad on my chest. My face thankfully didn't get burnt, but my chest did, so now it's tan, and so now I have my neck, or my chest is a couple shades darker than my face, so this powder is tinted a little dark, so I don't have, none of my concealers match anymore. They're all super brightening now, so looks like I'm gonna have to go shopping. Not that I'm complaining. So now that my face is set, I'm gonna go on to the brows, and for my brows on light days I like to use powders instead of pencils because I feel like they look more natural that way. I actually kind of prefer that anyway, but where my brows are kind of sparse in some areas, it's kind of difficult to use powders. On lighter days I like to use the Aesthetica brow palette. This is, my stepsister got this for me for Christmas and I actually really like it. I'm going to go into these cooler tone powders. For my light days I like to do the light color, and I'm just going to take the nice little double-ended brush that the palette came with, and I'm going to take the brush side, go into that lighter cool tone color. First I should probably spoolie my brows into place, that would probably be helpful. Getting ahead of myself here. So now I'm going to go into the light color and just fill in my brows. shape them a little bit. Mostly it's just kind of filling them in, giving them more tint. I have lighter brows, so I like to kind of make them, you know, a little more prominent on my face. Now this is where it gets difficult over here in this bald spot. This brow is my finicky brow anyway, so then it makes it more difficult with powders, but I love the way powders look. They just give you a more natural and fluffy look to the brow. Okay, so this brow I could not get to work, so I had to go in with a little bit of a pencil on this end, and it still looks like a turd, so I'm gonna give up right there. Sometimes I have bad brow days, you know, we're all human. We all have bad brow days occasionally. But now I'm gonna go into the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel just to set those in place. Kind of brushing them up and out to give the wispy kind of look. So now that I'm done with the brows, I'm going to bronze. And to bronze, I'm going to use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer. And I'm just going to take that on a fluffy tapered brush and just kind of put that where I'm going to where I would contour. I'm not going to contour on light days. I just bronze just to kind of warm the face up, give me a warm sun-kissed glow to kind of match my chest now. So I'll put that in the hollows of the cheeks, on the forehead, in the temple area, because I have kind of a big forehead, so I like to disguise it as much as possible. And down the nose slightly. And this, I have quite a few bronzers, but this step in my routine, excuse me, generally doesn't change because this is my favorite bronzer. And when it's winter, I'll use the lighter version just because it's not as warm as this, and so it's a little more flattering on my skin. So the next two steps change often, just kind of, I have a lot of blushes and I have a lot of highlights, so it just kind of depends on how I'm feeling that day. But usually it's a more toned down, more neutral or natural kind of nude or pink kind of blush and just a more subtle highlight. Or sometimes I like to go big or go home with my highlight and then be like, bam! But for blush, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Color Icon Rose Champagne blush. It's just a really, really nice kind of rosy brown neutral blush. Taking that on an angled brush, just putting it on the apples of the cheeks and swiping back. And this does have the slightest bit of shimmery sheen in it. So it is going to give your cheeks kind of a nice rosy sheen. For my highlight today, I'm going to be using the Flower Beauty highlighter palette. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these two colors together, the more pink and the more champagne. I think this palette is probably one of the best palettes for highlighting. Look at that. It's beautiful. No one talks about this. Like, look at that. Hello. So now I'm going to move on to the eyes. I'm going to start off by tightlining, and I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics No Tug Waterproof Gel Eyeliner in black. And I am just going to tightline to where my lashes stop. On the top only, because I'm going to put a nude liner on the bottom, on the waterline. Dang it. So now that the top is tight lined, I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Primer Potion and just prime my eyelids for shadow. To set the primer, I'm going to be taking the shade Heaven from the Too Faced Natural Matte Palette and just putting this all over my lids and up into the crease where I put the primer, just to, you know, set it down like I always do. So now I'm going to be taking the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Wattles. This is a satin finish. I absolutely love this shadow. It has a slight sheen to it, but it's not glittery, so when you're out in the sun or you're in the light, you can see the shimmer, but it's not like, bam, it's just like enough to bring light to the face. It's a beautiful shadow. I just ordered a backup. But with my finger, I'm just going to apply it all over the lid and up into the crease too. And basically you can stop there. I mean, blend it out, but you can stop there if you would like. See how it just has that nice shine? So with a fluffy brush, I am just going to blend this out. And these satin ones blend decent. The matte ones are kind of hard to blend, but I can always go over it with one of those lighter colored shadows. If I find that it's not blending too well, I'm going to just take a little bit more on the inner half right here. I'm going to take a fluffy brush and then just take that same shade and just kind of brush it on the outer part of the bottom lash line. Before I go any further, I'm going to put some nude liner in my waterline. I'm going to be using the Tarte Inner Rim Liner. That's just going to help brighten up the eyes and make your eyes look more open and awake. I'm going to go back into the Natural Matte palette, and with a small crease brush I'm going to go into the shade Strapless right here. It's kind of a more warm tone shadow, and very, very lightly I'm just going to put this in the outer V, just to lightly deepen the outer V and give a little tiny bit more dimension. This is completely optional, of course. If you have a few extra seconds, you can just add this to zhuzh up your look a little tiny bit. And then once again, just kind of blend it in. I mean, it honestly didn't do a whole lot, but I like it okay. With an angled eyeliner brush, I'm going to go into the shade Risque and very, very, very lightly line the lash line with it. So it's kind of like eyeliner, but not really. Just enough to give your lashes a little bit more definition. And I will stop where my lashes stop. I won't go any further than that. Whatever's left on that little brush that I used in the crease, I am just going to kind of run it just right here, just more definition. Probably nothing left on that brush though, and then just for good measure, just slightly blend the bottom. So now, as a final touch to the eyeshadow look, I'm going to take my detailer brush and I'm going to go back into my highlighter palette and I'm going to go into the Champagne shade and just put that on the inner corner of the eyes, just to kind of make them pop more. So now I'm going to curl my eyelashes and then apply mascara. And what I like to do is I like to curl my lashes for quite a while. And then I curl one lash, apply mascara, and then move on to the next lash because I feel like it holds curl better that way. And my lashes don't hold curl hardly at all. And so I'm going to use the Voluminous Loreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, whatever it's called. And I'm just going to put this on the top lashes. And I got it on my eyelid, as you can see, and so I'm going to let that dry before I go to wipe it off so then it won't smear as bad. And for the bottom lashes, I'm going to use this e.l.f. I got it as a freebie. I just made an e.l.f. order recently, and I got it for free. It came in like a free set. If you spent so much money, you got this free eyeshadow palette, mascara, and an eyeliner. And this mascara isn't great for the top lashes, but I like it for the bottom lashes, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. I think it's technically the Volumizing Mascara. So now the eyes are done. Beautiful and flirty. Now my face and my eyes are done, so now the only thing I have left to do is put on lips and setting spray. For lips, I'm going to use the e.l.f. lip oil. Yeah, lip oil in the shade Nude Kiss. I recently got this and I can't stop wearing it. It's beautiful. I love it. I love on a day, I'm going to stop talking for a second. On a day-to-day basis with my super light makeup, I like to use a light nude color like this, like a gloss. I don't like to use an actual lipstick, so like a gloss or a lip oil or something of that nature is always something I go to. And this is a current favorite. To finish up, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild setting spray. So this is the final look. I think it's absolutely lovely for everyday purposes, and I think it's a super quick and super nice way just to throw on a little bit of makeup and look a little more put together than normal. So I hope you like this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you would like to subscribe, please feel free, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.